Okay, we're
I,
on.
I think we're rolling, Jan.
Yes, sir.
Well,
How
how's
you doing,
everybody?
Seth?
Good. How are you doing, Jan?
Yep, doing mighty good tonight.
Yeah.
We have a very dear friend and bluegrass authority here as a guest, Mr. Gary Reid from Roanoke, Virginia. Uh, I met
Hello.
I met Gary at Ralph Stanley's festival in 1986 when I was there with Milton Harkey, and uh, he was there with a couple of Swedish friends, uh, Lars and Marie Dafen, who were big. Lars was a big collector and a fan of the Stanley Brothers, and I was very surprised to see them there of all places.
You
I
didn't
did.
know they were coming?
No, I had been visiting with them just a few weeks before that in
Yeah.
Sweden before I
Oh,
flew over. They live near the airport, but anyway, Gary's written extensively about the Stanley Brothers and Ralph Stanley. So, well, welcome to the program, Gary.
thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have somebody on that's so
Yeah,
knowledgeable about this music we're going to
yeah,
play. I love the Stanley Brothers, and wish I knew more of the backstory. So that's why we've got this guy with us.
yeah. We also have James Price, who's going to
Somewhere.
come later. He was on shortly, but we had some sound issues, but we hope he'll join us too. James, who was the fiddle player for Ralph Stanley's band for several years. So, Seth, what we got here tonight?
Let me pull out my set list and make sure I'm telling you the right thing. This says Bill Grants Festival, Hugo, Oklahoma, August of 1970.
So let's ask Gary a question. Who would you guess was in the band at the time?
Probably Roy Lee Centers would have been the guitar player and lead singer.
Mhm.
Possibly Keith Whitley and Ricky Skaggs, Curly Ray Klein and Jack Cook
Mhm.
probably would have been the group.
The former mayor of Norton, Virginia. Yeah. Well, let's listen to just a few songs, and then we can talk with Gary a little more.
That sounds good. We've got a lot of songs on this set. It looks like the Clinch Mountain Boys did 17 songs, if I'm looking at it right.
They played fast and hard, you know.
And one of them says Foggy Mountain Breakdown. So
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I never heard Ralph play it.
I had, but I guess we'll find out how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But yeah, play a few numbers and
All right, let me get my camera situated, Jan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That year we met Gary, that was when Ricky Skaggs came to Ralph's festival and his bus got stuck. That was,
Oops.
yep.
Yeah, I guess that was the 40th anniversary
Okay.
of Ralph's career that weekend
Okay.
or that year.
Yeah. So when would you say what is when can you say was the beginning of his career? What was the first?
Professionally, they started together in about the 1st of November, 1946.
1946.
Yeah.
So that's what they did, that little glass of wine and all that.
Yeah, they started out on a small radio station in Norton, Virginia for about 5 weeks, and then they went to Bristol, WCYB and Farm and Fun Time, and one of their early songs, Little Glass of Wine, was they hadn't recorded it yet, but it became popular through their radio performances.
Right.
And that was their big radio song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Seth, let's.
We're ready to roll, Jan. So
play it. Yeah, this sounds good.
Here we go.
Okay.
Stanley.
Yeah, boys, go back home, back to girl. Bitter like never home, come out and gal. Riding the night in the cold wind on the trail of the old lonesome pine. Thinking of you, felt so blue when that wild left you. Again, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love. Real life never known how mountain gal. Remember the night we strolled down the lane, our hearts were young and happy. You whispered to me when I held you close, we hoped that night. Get in, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love. Real life never known how mountain gal. Get in, boys, go back home, back to the girl you love. Reader life never known how mountain gal. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. We'd like to say another big howdy to you. We're glad to be back for another show here at the Big Bluegrass Festival. That's an old timer there called How Mountain Gals Can Love. That's one that we recorded many years ago. We hope you enjoyed it. I'll introduce you to the fellas here on the stage. I guess most of you was probably here on our afternoon show, so I'll not take up too much time telling you who they are. Anyway, on the fiddle over here, he's been with the show now about 4 years. He does a fine job. You hear him on all of our latest albums, and he has a couple of albums of his own. I think he's one of the finest old-time fiddlers from the state of Kentucky, the old Kentucky fox hunter, Curly Ray Klein. Let's give him a nice hand. Curly, that's fine. That microphone kept going down, but you went right down with it, didn't you? Yes, sir. That's all right. Curly will always do a good job there on the old-time fiddle tunes. Well, we're at the bass fiddle now. He sung a solo on our show today, and all you folks seem to enjoy it. He's a good singer. Most anything you want to hook him up at, he can do it. He's from Norton, Virginia. Name is Jack Cook. Let's make him welcome. Like in the spring, one sunny day, like a girl left me, she's gone away. She come in Dallas from El Paso. Say, come up, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. And she goes, and I'm checking on the world. The Mississippi River runs deep and wide, and when I'm buzzing on the other side, and I'm sitting on the world. If you don't like a picture, don't shake my tree. Stand my orchard, let me see you see. And she's all over, and sitting around
Hey, James Price. No, we can't still not hear you, I'm afraid. Now we can. No.
Jan, you may have to get him to call in and talk to him over the phone.
Yes, we can do that.
And then just cut it off when we get the music going again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll put him on. I'll call him.
While you're getting him dialed up, boy, I sure did love Ralph's banjo tone on that. Boy, he was really getting after it.
Yeah. And there's some soulful fiddle, and that's why it'd be good to have, James's comments. He played fiddle. There he is. Hey, this is Jan again. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but if you go ahead and turn off the mic, because I think that's causing.
Yeah, it's the speaker.
Can you? I don't know why this thing is doing that.
There.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Yes, sir.
It's interfering with the.
There's an echo. So.
How about now? Mic on the computer.
Yeah, there's some evil sounds here.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, try to cut your speakers down a little bit. I think it's on your end.
Go ahead and mute.
Just bear with us, folks. I think we got some technical bluegrass difficulties.
Well, we got James here on the telephone, but I tell you, he's looking mighty good. James, it's good to have you on here. How you been?
Well, I've been doing pretty good.
You heard all that soulful fiddle playing there.
Oh yeah.
First the what was it that hold down he was playing?
Cackling here.
Cackling Hen, yeah.
Cackling Hen. Yeah, I used to play it a lot with Ralph.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. How long did you play with Ralph?
I was there for 10 years from 2000. Let's see, 1994 to 2004.
No, okay. Well, I know you know his music inside and out. So I think Ralph already introduced the band. I was on the phone or doing something, I think, so I missed it. But was that Ricky Skaggs on the mandolin?
It didn't sound like him to me. He hadn't introduced the mandolin player yet.
Okay, yeah.
What
Yeah,
year?
1970.
Oh, 70? Yeah.
Ron Thomason played with him some during that time.
Yeah, I believe Ricky didn't come along until about 72 or somewhere in there, was it? 71?
71.
71, yeah.
Yeah, so far all he's introduced is, of course, Jack Cook and
Curly Ray,
Roy Lee Centers.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good band, boy. That was a good band.
Yeah. The former mayor of Norton, Virginia. You
Yeah.
know, did you spend much time with Curly Ray Klein too?
Yeah, I knew Ray real good. We become real good friends.
Yeah. So
I loved Ray. He was a good fella.
Yeah.
Good fiddler.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you live near Curly Ray? You're up in West Virginia, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm in West Virginia, but the thing, I worked for Melvin and Ray Goins, the Goins brothers for 3 years.
I
The last
remember.
3 years when Ray was there. So I was around him a lot.
Oh, okay.
As a matter of fact, Ray used to ride, Curly would ride our bus a lot of times back home from the shows.
Mm.
And just, I was just around him a lot. He really liked me. He said, boy, he said, I'd play something. He said, that sounds a lot like me. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to sound like you when a kid.
Yeah. Well, so let's listen to a few more numbers here.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get us dialed up.
All right.
That's mighty fine there. Jack Cook singing, sitting on top of the world. Back here now with the guitar. He's another fine feller I'm glad to introduce to you from the state of Kentucky, Breathitt County. He's been with us now since last November. Sings all of our lead and plays the guitar. Roy Lee Centers. Let's give him a nice hand. Stone walls and steel bars, the love on my mind. I'm a 3-time loser, I'm home on this time. Jealousy has wrecked my young life, all for the love of another man's wife. I've had it coming, I've known all the time. No more stone walls and still bars, you on my mind. Stone walls and still bars, love on my mind. I'm a three-time loser, I'm home on this time. Gray-haired warden, deep Frisco Bay. Guards all around me, leading my way. I've had it coming at the end of the line. No more stone walls and steel bars, you on my mind. Stone walls and steel bars, the love on my mind. I'm a three-time loser, I'm home on this time. I'm a three-time loser, I'm home on this time.
Thank you. Thank you. For those of you that don't know, I'd like to introduce you to a man that's been playing the old-time music for as long as I've been alive. He plays the banjo, sings the tenor, and some of the lead. And he's followed this music and promoted it and helped build it. And I guess he's become the living definition of the way it ought to be played. Let's make him welcome here tonight, Ralph Stanley.
Thank you, folks. As I went out to take a little walk, I walked upon that wild Bill Jones. He was walking and talking about true lover's sign. I forbid him to leave her alone. Well, they said my age is 21, too old to be controlled. So I drew my revolver from my side and destroyed that poor boy's soul. Oh, Polly, pretty Polly, would you take me unkind? Polly, pretty Polly, would you take me unkind? Me to sit beside you and tell you my mind. Well, my mind is to marry and never to part. My mind is to marry and never to part. The first time I saw you, it wounded my heart. And she knelt down before him, pleading for her life. She knelt before him, pleading for her life. Let me be a single girl, but can't be your wife. Now, Polly, pretty Polly, that never can be. Polly, pretty Polly, that never can be. Your past reputation's been trouble to me. Oh, you understand, little Maggie, with a round glass in her hand, she's drinking away. Way down your lane, go down. Way down, you're gonna watch you change. Little Maggie's gonna dance today. Listen to this old banjo ring. Go away, you may. Go and do the best you can. I'll get me another one. You can get you another man. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. We've had some requests now to do a couple of our latest record numbers that we recorded and have out on record. Have to tune this strings up. It don't cost a bit extra to get in tune. First one goes sort of like this here. Curly Ray, can you tell me where all the peoples are going in such a rush?
I don't know, Rob, but Reed Roy can. Oh, yeah, they're going to the big fair in town. Well, they got some of the funniest things you ever saw.
Well, come on, let's go to the fair.
Come on, boys, let's go to the fair. See the funny sights in the cool. Greg Hopper kissing the old black crow. Old hog red to the dose. More funny things than you ever did see. The ringtail coons and monkeys in the trees. But you can't come in the tomcat's hair. Come on, boys, let's go to the fair.
Had a banjo, big and rooster, and the copies of them all. Strutted on the stage in his big overall. Close behind was old fiddle and fire. Bluegrass music by Rooster and
More funny things than you ever did see. Ringtail coons and monkeys in the trees. But you can't come in the tomcat's hair. Come on, boys, let's go to the fair.
Oh, Mother Goose wore fancy clothes, high heel slippers and pantyhose. The old bear possum in his underwear, still a step laughing at the county fair.
More funny things than you ever did see. The ringtail coons and monkeys in the trees.
Pussycat calling the tomcat's hair. Come on, boys, let's go to the fair.
All right. Jan, are you with us? I think Jan must have stepped out. Gary, what have you thought about this music so far? What's some of your insights on this?
Yeah, it's a nice program early in Ralph's solo career. The festival that he's playing at, Hugo, Oklahoma, was promoted by Bill Grant, who had a partnership with Delia Bell for many years, Bill Grant and Delia Bell.
Yeah.
And the festival Bill promoted started in 1969, and it was the first bluegrass festival west of the Mississippi. So it was quite a big deal in their neck of the woods there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. And you were spot on too about the mandolin player. That was Ron Thomason there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zane Fairchild says it sounds like Ron that introduces Ralph, and Brian Lambeck seems to think it's Ralph. Ron, and so Tom Sauber. I'm glad there's so many people listening to this.
Especially Zane. I'm glad to hear his input. Boy, he really knows this kind of music, and another Western North Carolina fella too. And his dad was a wonderful banjo player, and I think his dad and Ralph Stanley were pretty good friends, from my understanding.
Yeah,
They were.
I tell you, Raymond was if he was your friend, he was your friend. He was a loyal friend for sure.
Good guy.
Yeah, had some good visits with Raymond. Used to go to his place with a guy from around here named Eddie Rose, and we'd sit around and play, and always enjoyed what time we did get with Raymond. He was always enjoyable to be around and knew a lot about the music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played with Raymond one time at the Cherokee Festival.
Okay.
That was really cool. I'll never forget it.
That's a good festival too.
Yeah,
I know
Raymond and Ralph recorded a project together. It only came out as a cassette-only release, so a lot of people don't know about it. But they ventured into the studio together.
I forgot about that, Gary. I'm glad you reminded me of that. It's been a long time since I heard that album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not I don't think I've ever heard of it. James, we still got James on here. James Price, from West Virginia, former Clinch Mountain boy, and the best bologna sandwich maker around. Let's. What did you think of the music so far? I know we've been talking here in the background a little bit, but
Well, that stuff going right now is just prime. It's in the prime time.
yeah.
Yeah, that was good band then. I tell you, Ralph used to. He used to tell us sometimes we get in the studio, and he'd say, "What's the matter?" He'd say, "What's the matter with you boys?" He'd say, we recorded Stanley Sound around the world in 3.5 hours, and that's mixed and all. Ain't that right, Jack? and Jack say, yeah, Ralph, that's right. Yeah. 3.5 hours, and that's mixed and all now. And ain't that right? And Jack said, yeah. And then I said, yeah, but you had Roy Lee Centers singing lead too, buddy. There's a lot of difference in that band and when we first went to the studio.
Yeah.
It's easy to do when you got a bunch of guys like that.
Yeah. Well, this singing is just it gives me the chill bumps,
Yeah. Oh my.
It reminds me a lot of the people here around Western North Carolina, just that style of music. And I mean, it's just a mountain thing. It's found in North Carolina, East Tennessee, Virginia, those areas is just kind of the sound of that area.
Yeah, it's not really blues, but it's some kind of blues, It has the same effect on me. It's hard to describe, really.
I'll tell you, I'll say one more thing here. I listen to stuff, and I've got a lot of memories, a lot of great memories. I get flooded with them pretty often, and I watch a lot of videos and stuff. And I was just thinking the other day how, I played those songs that we done with Ralph, like Little Maggie and stuff like that, 3 or 4 times a week on different shows for 10 years. And buddy, when you do that, you get keyed in on that you start getting pretty good after a few years, together.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody, you play. It's hard for me sometimes to play some of them songs, like Rank Strangers, for instance, or whatever, with other people that don't do it quite like Ralph did. Right. It's hard for me because I'm so used to it being done that way.
Yeah.
And one night we was over by BMA, and I got off the bus. Some of us boys did. Ralph, of course, he just sit there on the bus and was waiting. Our thing was the next day, and So I was walking around just looking, talking to old friends and stuff. And Jimmy Martin was out there singing and wanted me to go get my fiddle. And he was singing, probably, had a couple of drinks. And he was saying, come here, fiddle man, come here. And he started singing Little Maggie, And he said, I love Jimmy Martin. Now, I'm not, don't think I don't. I loved him. But he said, now, see, he'd sing Little Maggie. And he said, now, see, Ralph Stanley ain't the only one who can sing Little Maggie. I said, well, that's true, but he's the only one who can sing it right. I said, man, don't ever try to beat. I said, listen here, Jimmy, don't ever try to beat Ralph Stanley at Little Maggie. Now.
Yeah.
Because it just can't be done.
No, that's. But Ralph and Jimmy, they played a lot together.
Oh yeah, they loved one another. I got back to the bus. I'll tell you the rest of that story is so funny. I got back to the bus and Ralph said, "Well, Pooch, what all do you say? You said ain't good." I said, "Well," I said, "Jimmy Martin was over there." I said, "He's trying to get me to come get my fiddle and play on Saturday night." I said, "He said, was he drunk?" I said, I don't know. I said, I couldn't tell, but I said he was singing Little Maggie, and Ralph said, yeah, he was yeah.
I've got a live recording, Jan, of Ralph and Jimmy doing Hills of Roane County together, and I swear it's some of the best singing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
We give you chill bump.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Jimmy Martin can sing, buddy.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should play a few numbers. Or Gary, would you like to add anything?
No, not really. It's just a high point in Ralph's career. He late 60s and early 70s. He was kind of at the top of his game there, and
yeah, that lead singing is just something else,
Yeah,
it sounds so much Carter, like Carter. Sometimes it's spooky.
Yeah, and Ralph said even Roy Lee's mannerisms at times remind him of Carter. Not that Roy was trying to act that way; it was just his nature, and it was kind of uncanny, really.
Yeah.
He was all prime back then, buddy. I tell you, Ray could fiddle, man. He could fiddle.
Yeah.
And I mean, that stuff is not easy to play. I tell you. He could play that stuff, and they had a timing. Their timing was so good, Jack and all of them. I mean, there wasn't no slack in it, It was 100% on, and it's hard. It's not easy.
Well, everybody was thinking alike, I feel, and they were playing their instruments to complement each other, which you don't hear a lot of today, in my opinion.
Yeah, they was feeling it. They was in the clique, together. It's kind of like a relationship when you get together with somebody. You have chemistry or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that it takes that. It takes chemistry.
Yeah. So how did you get hired? What was the?
Well, I tell you, I worked with Melvin Goins. I got hired with Melvin in '91, and of course Melvin played a lot with Ralph on different shows.
And was Ray around then?
Yeah, Ray was in the band when I come in, and so we played a lot of shows with Ralph, and we would get to be with Ralph and them, before the shows, during the shows, and after the shows. And so I got to know Ralph pretty good through those 3 years. And I told Ralph one night up in Ohio, I said, Art Samper was playing, and I told Ralph, I said, Ralph, I know Art's working for you, but if anything ever happens to where that Art might want to leave or something, or you whatever, If you ever need somebody, I said, give me a holler. I'd love to work for you sometime.
Yeah.
He said, all right, well, just give me your phone number there, and I'll hang on to it, so I'll give it to him. And sure enough, one day, James Shelton called me.
Mm-hmm.
And James said, is this James Price? I said, yeah. Ralph wanted me to call you and offer you a job. I said, he did. He said, yeah. I said, well, why didn't he call? He said, I don't know. He wanted me to call. I said, well, tell him to call me. And so James said, are you serious? I said, yeah, tell him to call me. He said, okay, I'll tell him. And so the next day I was out mowing grass. My wife hollered at me and said, somebody's on the phone for you. She said, I ain't sure, but I think it sounds like Ralph Stanley. I smiled. I went to answer the phone. I said, hello, Ralph. I said, hello. I said, yeah. Is this you, James? I said, yeah, it's me. I said, is this you, Ralph? He said, yeah. What are you doing? I said, I'm out mowing grass. Well, he said, did James call you? I said, he did. I said, yeah, he called me. I said, I told him to tell you to call. Well, okay then. Well, that's what I'm doing. I said, okay. Well, what do you? He said, well, what do you think? I said, about what? He said, well, you want to come to work for me or what? I said, yeah. He said, well, when can you start? I said, well, I'm working for Melvin, Ralph. I said, I need a couple of weeks, you know. I wouldn't do you that way or anybody else. So I need at least a couple of weeks to let him try to get somebody else. Well, I said, yeah. So I told Melvin, I dreaded it because, but we was at Roundhouse Park in Ohio, and up close to Dayton, and the word got leaked out some way, and I guess I think Melvin already knew, but that's where I started with Melvin 3 years to the day. Before that, and so I told Melvin, I said, I want to talk to him. We went for a walk through the park. I told him that Ralph had asked me for a job, and Melvin he was kind of upset, but he understood it and everything. And so I went to work I told him I was going to stay on a couple of weeks, and Melvin said, no, just go ahead on. It's all right. I'll find somebody. Don't worry about it. I said, well, you failed, but that's the way you want it. So the very next weekend, I went to work for Ralph. The very first show I played with Ralph was at the Rhinehart, those bluegrass Monday nights.
Yep, I remember. Yeah.
So I played the Ryman. You know, that's a hard gig to go on for the first one.
That's a pretty powerful gig.
But it was with Bill Monroe, and
yeah.
I'll never forget it. There was, believe it or not, there was a lot of people in the crowd there come to see Ralph's new fiddler, and
Oh, I'm sure.
they had heard that somebody else had left, and he got somebody else. A lot of them didn't know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it went pretty good.
I'm sure
I
it did.
stood in there pretty good, and everybody seemed to be pleased.
Well, I can testify that you sounded really great with Ralph's band.
Well, I had the kind of feel for it. I'd been around that music all my life growing up.
Yep.
But I will say this, it is not easy to play like a lot of people think, you know. Bobby Hicks is a good friend of ours, mine and Jan's. And Bobby used to, when Ricky would call Ralph out to sing, Bobby would tell me, he'd say, you come play the fiddle on this stuff. I said, no, you're doing good. You go. He said, get out here. I don't play this stuff like you do. I said, well, and I said, boy, if people heard you say that. But it was funny to me that he always wanted me to play it because he didn't feel comfortable playing around stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, he's got good, he knows good, and he's got just such good taste. Hicks does.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's listen to a few more tracks.
Yeah.
All right, we're queued up. Let me put her on here.
I'd rather be in some dark hole where the sun don't ever shine than to be at home alone, just knowing that you're home they call me blue. So blow your whistle, freight train, take me far down the track. I'm going away, I'm leaving the day, I'm going, but I'm I'd rather be in some dark hole where the sun don't ever shine than to be in this big city in a small room with birds on the line. So blow your whistle, freight, take me far down the track. Well, I'm going away, I'm leaving the day, I'm going, but I ain't coming back.
All right. Yeah, we'll do pig in the pen just a little bit later on. I'll tell you right now, I'm going to call another young gentleman out on the stage. We played down in Shepherd, Texas about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I met some fine folks down there. And a little 10-year-old banjo player from Springdale, Arkansas. And he asked me to play one of my banjo tunes down there that I recorded a long time ago, and I forgot it, and I told him I'd learn it. So he's here today, and he requested it again, and I still haven't learned it. I forgot it. And he said he had since he saw me. And I said, well, how about you just playing it for me then on the stage tonight? And he said he'd be glad to. His name is Gene White. Let's give him a nice hand from Springdale, Arkansas. That's Gene Pyatt instead of White. Gene, how you doing tonight?
Fine.
See, now you're, how old are you?
10.
10 years old. Are you married?
I'm getting like you.
Huh?
I'm getting like you, horse.
You're getting hoarse like me? I guess you're engaged then, huh? Well, tell the folks then what you'd like to play. This one that I'd forgotten you couldn't play, will you?
I'd like to do a number called Bonnie and Clyde's Getaway.
That's real fine. That's real fine, Gene, so I guess you'll have to do another one. What's another one you'd like to do? Have you got it tuned back up? What? Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Well, that's real fine. If Gene stays around when we on stage again, we'll let him do another one. He does a real good job. Now we'd like to call on the fellow that you heard this afternoon from the state of Kentucky that I was telling you about, had recorded an album. The Clinch Mountain Board that you see on the stage here helped him out with it, and I think it's a real good album. Let's make welcome again Lee Allen. Would you give him a nice hand? Lee, come right on up here now, and what would you like to do for the folks?
Ralph, I'd like to try one. It's on my album called You're Going Away, one I wrote. Darling, you say I've done you wrong, that I have pushed you aside. I've done the best that I know how, and now you're saying goodbye. You told me that you were going away, that you would never return. I would not believe the things you told, while this heart inside of me yearns. Many a night I've tossed and turned and cried all day long. Why can't I make you believe I've never done you wrong? You told me that you were going away, that you would never return. I would not believe the thing you told, while it's hard inside of me yearns. Now, darling, I've done all that I can do. I've heard all the bad things you say. Now you've left me for another. I think I'd be better off dead. You told me that you were going away, that you would never return. I would not believe the thing you told, while it's hard inside of me yearns. While it's hard inside lie to me. Yeah.
Well, that was Lee Allen, folks, and remember he does have his album on sale if any of you'd like to have it along with that, and 11 other fine songs, I think. But now I'd like to do another solo number, and this is one that was written by my good friend Bill Grant. Bill is the one that made this festival possible for you folks here in Hugo, and I've known Bill now for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and he's one of the finest fellows that I've ever met. He told me about 2 years ago that he had this song that he'd written, and he thought maybe it would suit me, and he sung it for me. He wrote it about a spring, I reckon about 30 or 40 miles north of here up in the mountains called Medicine Springs. I'd like to do this for Bill and his wife and his mother and father and all of the folks. Hope you enjoy it, Medicine Springs. I wandered way back in the mountains. I was searching for fortune and fame. I found where the water runs sweet from the hills. They call it a Medicine Spring. They call it a Medicine Spring. It was there I met a fair maiden, yellow hair and big eyes of blue. She told me one day she loved only me, that she'd forever be true. She'd forever be true. I wanted the best for my darling, but my pockets were empty and bare. My love is so great for this darling of mine. I took what another man had. I took what another man had. As I sit here alone in this jailhouse, with a letter I can't hardly read, it said my darling has left this old world. She's a-waiting in heaven for me, a-waiting in heaven for me. Someday I'll go back to the mountain, where I'll spend the rest of my days, and the water that runs from the side of the hill will water her flowery grave, will water her flowery grave. All right, thank you, folks. We hope you enjoyed Medicine Springs. We've had a lot of requests now to do a sacred song. This is one we recorded and it's been one of our most popular hymns, Rank Stranger.
I wandered again to my home in the mountains, where you surely dawn I sang free. I looked for my friend, but I never could find. I found
found they were all like strangers to me. Everybody I met seemed to be a rank stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see, They knew not my name, and I knew not their faces. I found they were all like strangers to me, They've all moved away, said the voice of a stranger, to a beautiful home by the bright crystal sea. Some beautiful day I'll meet 'em in heaven, where no one will be. Everybody I met seemed to be a rank stranger. No mother or dad, not a friend could I see. They knew not my name, and I knew not their faces. I found they were all like strangers to me,
Well, Gary, how you feeling? You ready to get some rest?
I couldn't hear you, Jan. It was kind of breaking up.
Hey, let me see here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Sort of.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming on here tonight. It's been wonderful to have you here. And do you want to make some final comment? You know, you have this very interesting one-man show where you do like the character of Carter Stanley. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a show that I've been doing for almost 6 years now. It's called A Life of Sorrow, The Life and Times of Carter Stanley. And it's about a 70-minute program, and I take on the persona of Carter Stanley and tell his life story, perhaps the way he might have wanted to have it told, were he here to do it himself. And I do portions of 9 or 10 songs that are associated with him throughout the program, and usually do a little Q&A after the program. And I've done 99 shows in 16 different states and 3 Canadian provinces. So
Fantastic.
Wow.
I've enjoyed having the opportunity to travel around with it.
Yeah, we hope we can get back to some kind of normalcy and where you can get out and perform again. All of us want to get out and play, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a number of shows lined up for this year, all of which have been canceled. So just have to kind of sit tight.
I tell you, I have one gig booked. It's in November at the Brewfest in Danville, Virginia.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might not go there either.
Yeah.
That's a lively gig otherwise, you know. You know, you can imagine a brew fest, and that's why we play early there. You know, get out before they get too drunk. There's every brewery in North Carolina and Virginia have set up there. So, but it's a lively event.
I'll bet.
Yeah, the best the first set, you know. That's playing later at night can be a little adventurous.
Yeah.
One of my best stories I've ever heard about people getting drunk at a festival. A friend of mine told me that here near where I live in Asheville that there was a festival in a field. Of course, that's usually where a bluegrass festival happened. But anyways, there was a bunch of hippies and punk people that had partied pretty hard on Saturday night, and they had all kind of fallen asleep in front of the stage. And here comes Sunday morning, and Bill Monroe was supposed to do a gospel set on Sunday morning first thing. And Bill started playing gospel music, and everybody that was out in the field woke up and started dancing like the night before. And Bill Monroe looked out at the crowd and he said, "There'll be no dancing on this set. This is gospel music."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Gary, I'm going to let you go. You take care of yourself, and let's do something more here where we can use your expertise and insights. Zane Fairchild says, "Get drunk and shoot bass fiddles up." Yeah.
Gary, it was good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, thanks for
appreciate
joining.
you sharing the music.
Yeah. You take care. I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, very good.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
See you, Gary.
Okay. Well, we're still alive, and you got more music from the Stanley Brothers. We still got James here. James, you got some wonderful stories from Ralph's your career with Ralph, and we have to keep them kind of family style, you know.
Yeah, the family style stories. So
No, but I'll tell you one thing: you never hear anything about Ralph drinking or anything. He's known as one of the real straight
right
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I tell you what, that Curly Ray Klein sounds like just vicious. He is really going after it in a way that I never heard anything like it before. At times, it sounds like Scottish Stoneman.
I know it.
I mean, it's
the combination of that Hoff, that fiddle that Ray had.
Yeah.
You didn't have to play it hard and everything to get a lot of that out of it, man. It was a Parker. And
what happened to that fiddle?
well, I think his son Timmy Klein ended up getting it, but
Okay.
it was a good one, man. It was a good Hoff. I've had a couple of Hoffs, but never nothing that quite barked quite like that, man. I mean, I've watched Ray play a lot, and there's times when he just, pull the bow over them strings and like hit one of those double stop, intros to the break or something. And it just didn't take a whole lot, man. That fiddle would bark.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did.
Mm.
But the combination of that and Ray's playing and his taste and timing, that's the man. They had the timing, buddy. I mean, there wasn't no slack in none of them. I mean, they was right together.
Yeah. I mean, this is probably one of the most powerful lineups Ralph have ever had, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That was the band right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have Roy Lee Centers on here.
Yeah.
He just said, "My gosh, that's Lee Allen singing lead while my grandfather is singing tenor."
Yeah.
That gives me the chill bumps right there.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Seth, how much is left of this show?
We've got 4 songs left in the set. It's been a pretty long one, and I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Why don't we listen to those and then we can talk a little more with James and then.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Let me get this tape ready here.
Bill Grant tells me we had some requests for Lee Allen to do the number that he did this afternoon. This is a true song that he wrote about his mother that did pass away, I believe, in 1964. And Lee Allen wrote this song just the way he felt about it and recorded it. Lee, what do you call it?
It's one called The Story of My Mother.
Story of My Mother. Here's Lee Allen.
On September the 14th, in the year 64, God sent an angel and knocked at Mother's door. They took her away to the bright land so fair. I know she's with God in heaven there. Mother has left and gone away, but before she left, I know she prayed. I can't forget the words she moaned. Lord, let me live, see my children grow. Oh, Mom, I've tried to explain the words of this song, of how you used to plan things when we were all at home. Mom, I remember how you used to do when we'd go out on Saturday night. Why, you'd sit up and wait to see if your children made it home all right. Well, Mom, them days have come and gone, and now you've moved to your new home. You're no longer where I used to roam, so that leaves Dad home all alone. Well, Mom, I'm choking up and I'm going to have to go, 'cause the words I cannot say, except since you're gone, I just live from day to day. Well, Mom, Daddy's home okay, except a little gray, but like the rest of the family, since you're gone, he just lives from day to day. When this life is over and no more here we'll roam, I hope we'll all be together over there in our new home. Now you're gone, no more here below. I know you were ready when he knocked on your door.
Thank you, folks. We'll be back here with you all again, I guess, in the morning for the hymn program and then for some more show tomorrow afternoon. We got time, I believe, to do one more song. And we've had 2 or 3 requests, and I'm sorry that if anybody asked for a number that we didn't get on, but maybe if you're here tomorrow, if you didn't get to hear your favorite number, we can do it then. I'm going to change my style a little bit on this song, play it the old time clawhammer lick like I first learned to play, called Little Birdie. Little birdie, won't you sing to me your song? got a short time to stay here and a long time to be gone. Rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine, and we'll be another man's darling, and to know that you'll never be mine. Little birdie, what makes you fly so high when you know that my true love is waiting in the sky? Little birdie, won't you sing to me your song? You've called me lots of trouble. Won't you call me to the wrong? Good night, everybody. Hold me, darling, just tonight. Take your arm and hold me down. Tomorrow you may hold another. Hold me, darling, just You say tomorrow you're leaving, but I hope you know it's right. Well, I pray to God you won't leave me. Love me, darling, just tonight. Love me, darling, just tonight. Take your arm and hold me tight. Tomorrow you may hold another. Love me, darling, just tonight. I'll find truth in your heart. Tomorrow we may not have to part. But if you feel you must leave me, love me, darling, just tonight. Love me, darling, just tonight. Take your arm and hold me tight. Tomorrow you may hold another. Love me, darling, just I got a big home and it's hard to beat him on. All I need for the girl be wet. Going on a mountain so a little cane with my heart.
waiting on my day. I got a big home and fan, corn feeding on all I need for the feeding well.
Boy, that's a powerful group there, I'll guarantee you that. Mighty fine. Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys. I'd like to remind you that
All right, Jan, are you with us? I think Jan might have stepped away for a few minutes, but that's the end of the set with Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys. Really good set by those guys. Enjoyed that. Let me see if I can get a hold of Jan, and we'll finish up with Mr. James Price. We'll be back in just a minute.
Well, Seth, I guess we ran out of music. I was unfortunately paying attention to. We were talking with James Price here. James got some powerful fiddling there. I never heard anything like that by Curly Ray Klein. It's just mind blowing. I think
it is. I'll tell you. He was good. As far as I'm concerned, and I ain't just saying this because like I said, because I work for Ralph. I mean it. When Ray was with the Lonesome Pine Fiddlers, and then with Ralph right there in the early years, but they just and as far as bluegrass music goes, they want. I mean, of course, Kenny Baker and them guys have their own style. They're stylists. They're all stylists. And they're all great in their own right. But I'm telling you, when it comes to just hard nail driving bluegrass music, timing and all, and playing right on top of it, they wasn't no better than Curly Ray.
Yeah.
I mean, he can cut it, buddy.
Oh man, could he ever? Yeah, that was I don't. Yeah, I was kind of surprised, by the intensity and he was really bearing it down there, and I saw him when he was nearly
right
80s and late 70s, I guess.
Yeah,
mostly, and but he was still a great stage persona always.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know what Seth is doing.
I'm trying to get our reel to.
We got some technical. Okay, I see what he's doing.
Yeah, trying to get it to where we can play the set of Buck White.
Tell me some stories from your interactions with Mr. Curly Ray Klein.
Well, Ray was one of the things I loved about Ray is he was an old fashioned kind of guy, from the mountains down there in East Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a special breed of people anyway. I mean, those mountain people and old fashioned. And I always, one thing I've been fortunate to be around older people and around my grandparents and great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And I love older people, and it just helped me some, being around older players in the business and the artists and stuff. And they're different, they're a different breed of people.
Yeah.
And kids today, they don't get that. They don't get it. And so it always helped me, and I just always had a big love for all them older guys, And
yeah.
I love being around Ray. he was good-hearted. Ray was real good-hearted, big-hearted. He'd help you anytime he could.
Yeah.
He's like Jack and all of them. They like to make money too, you know.
Yeah. 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 We'll have to have you come on. You know, and we'll just do a Ralph Stanley special or James Price special.
I'll get this computer situation fixed here, and we'll do that pretty soon.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Take care.
All righty.
Okay.
Good to be
Yeah.
with you.
Okay. All right. See you later. Okay. So
good to hear from James Price. That was wonderful to have him here.
Have another set going.
Yeah, if you'll talk to the folks for a minute, let me fine tune this and get it where we need it for this next set.
Buck White and the Down Home folks. And we'll see what's happening here. Set.
I'm here. Can you hear me, Jan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you'll do a little talking to the folks for just a minute, I'm trying to find the spot where we need to put this tape at.
Okay. Well, I can say that tomorrow at 7 p.m., Danny excuse me, Danny Gotham and I, with special guest Kathy Hinton, we're going to do a live stream on Facebook. It'd be like a blues guitar kind of thing. Danny Gotham is a performer and a wonderful guitarist and longtime friend. He wrote his master's thesis about Mississippi John Hurt, so we definitely play some of Hurt's old numbers, and that's tomorrow. It's gonna be streaming on both YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Otherwise, it's been a good show here. At least.
Jan, I've got our tape positioned, and I'm really looking forward to this because I've always enjoyed Buck White's mandolin playing. I think he's one of the most underrated mandolin players out there. When people talk about their mandolin heroes, you don't hear Buck White come up much, but he's one of my mandolin heroes.
Oh, I know. He was, I don't know how much Buck's playing, but I always enjoyed. He's got quite a jazzy style.
Yeah, he really does. And his piano playing. I always love to hear him play the piano.
Yeah.
Talented guy all the way around and a good singer. The whole family's wonderful singers and musicians, and I always enjoy hearing their material because it's a little different than some of the other bands at the time.
No, yeah. Well, let's see. This is in 1970, so
correct.
Long before Jerry Douglas and Ricky Skaggs played with the band.
Yeah, it sounds like they've got a banjo player, so I'm going to be interested to find out who's playing banjo with them.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find that out as they introduce the band.
Yes. And okay, well, let's listen a little bit. The Buck White family, or the Buck White and the Down Home folks.
Morning. These next folks we want to bring out really do a fine job of the bluegrass music and entertaining. They work out of the Fort Smith, Arkansas area. Matter of fact, the name of the town they're from is Greenwood, Arkansas. Let's make welcome now Buck White and all the Down Homers.
Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. When you arrive at the station, I'll be right there to meet you, I'll be right there to greet you. Don't turn down my invitation. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We'll be shouting hallelujah all the way. And we'll have you believe down Memphis, Tennessee. And we'll shout hallelujah all the way. Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. Tell that engineer to leave that throttle open. Keep that engine stack smoking, I ain't hitting that joke. I'll soon be with my gal open. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We'll be shouting hallelujah all the way. And we'll have you believe that in Memphis, Tennessee. And we'll shout hallelujah all the way. Take that night train to Memphis, take that night train to Memphis. You know how I'm longing to see you. Leave at 3:57 and arrive at 11. I'll be shouting hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We'll be shouting hallelujah all the way. And we'll have you believe we're down in Memphis, Tennessee. And we'll shout hallelujah all the way. Well, I'll tell you what, this bunch of people really love bluegrass music because it's nearly morning. And anybody that set out like this and stay with it as long as y'all have deserves a hand. We're going to give you one right now. Let's give them all a hand. No, we'll try to do away with the talking and save some of it for tomorrow. And sing you a few songs that we hope you like. I know it's late, and we might not even go to bed, but we're going to try to be here in the morning for a gospel show, and hope that you're here. We'll sing you a few songs tonight, maybe some that you haven't heard. That's hard to sing something that someone hasn't done, but maybe they haven't done this one right here. Huh? You don't love me anymore, my darling. I'm just as used to be to you. Those cold kisses that you gave me, little darling. To me, you found somebody new. Tomorrow's just another lonesome day, and I know you'll want me far away. Hey, you don't love me anymore, my darling. Just as used to be. You don't love me anymore, my darling. I'm just as used to be to you. Those cold kisses that you gave me, little darling. To me, you found somebody new. Tomorrow's just another lonesome day, and I know you'll want me far away. Hey, you don't love me anymore, my darling. Just as used to be to you. I'm just as used to be to you. Thank you. Here's a tune that Ralph and I are going to pick for you, called Banjo in the Hollow. We're going to play it together. And what I mean by that, we're going to play twin on part of it. Maybe somebody hadn't done that today. This is a real good banjo number.
we got plenty of time. Oh boy.
I saw you and your new love today. So I tried to turn my head and look at the other. Just being there so close to you is more than I could bear. Although I've tried, I can't forget that I never there. Congratulations, but so hard to say. And I shook you the name. Although my dreams have been deep, I tried to stay. I'm still in back, congratulations anyway. I know it's foolish to keep loving you. It sure is. But I can't hide my broken heart no matter what I do. Maybe someday I'll forget the love we shared somehow. Maybe the first to say congratulations now. Congratulations are so hard to say. As I shook you, you looked and you looked the other way. Although my dreams have been deep, I tried to smile and say, I'm delighted back, congratulations anyway. I'm delighted back, congratulations anyway.
We were raised in the West. You'd call this the West, I guess, and nobody sung a Western song. I think we'll do a Western song. I think maybe some of you'd like it for a change. I remember when I was a kid growing up that I played cowboy and Indians all the time, and I used to go to movie on Saturday, to see Roy Rogers and Gene Autry. And I got to where I just loved to hear the Sons of Pioneers sing. And we were talking about that up there today, and somebody said, why don't you sing one? So I believe we'll just sing y'all Sons of Pioneers song, see how you like it. This is called Cool Water. And a little cool water wouldn't be bad right now, would it? Or about 12 o'clock today is awful hot, wasn't it? record, ain't it? All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water. Water, water. Whole day and night with throats burn dry and soul that cries for water. Water, water, please, water, water, water. Keep the moving hand, don't you listen to it, daddy. He's the devil out of it, and he spreads the burning sign with water. Water, oh, Dad, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, 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 free, water, 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 water. And sweetheart soul, he's yearning for just one thing more than water, cool water, water. Like me, I guess he'd like to rest where there's no quest for water, water, cool water, clean water, 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 water. Don't you listen to him, daddy? He's the devil out of it, and he spreads the dirty sign with water, water. Then can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free, and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, 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 free, water, 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 water. Water, free, water, water, clear water. I'd have had a bucket of water, I'd thrown it in their face. Let's sing a sad, sentimental type song right now. Get me an A. This is I didn't want to sing this song. This is sad, but I believe I'll just go ahead and do it. Johnny Dree was a little bitty boy, that pitiful. I told you he's gonna be sad. Sat on his baby's knee, well, picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel, and it'd be the death of me. That would be the death of me. Well, John Henry had the sweet love and wine, like that she wore white blue. Went down the tracks and never did look back, saying Henry, I've been good to you. Henry, I've been good to you. John and me hammered in the mountain till the hammer caught on fire. The last words I heard from John Henry say, "Who drank of water before it died?" Ha, ha, ha. Who drank of water before I died?
Yeah. James, can you hear me there?
Yes, sir.
So, like you have a long relation with the Whites. The well, tell us how that started.
Well, we played a lot of shows together. Always did, and of course Ricky was around a lot, and Ricky was always, married to Sharon, and
Mm-hmm.
Buck is Ricky's father-in-law, so they was around a lot, especially if we was doing any studio work together in Nashville.
Right.
Or a lot of times we'd play, like those bluegrass Monday nights at the Ryman,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or any other Opry thing. They would always around. They would come. They were fans around,
Oh yeah.
And I just love the Whites. I absolutely love them like family. I just hug them like family. I mean, they're as good a people as God's ever put on this earth.
Mm.
And great singers and players. I mean, they're just the very best all the way around. I love them.
Yeah.
James, since you know him, I'll ask you a question. I've always thought Buck White would be the nicest guy. Is that pretty much true? Jan, I think you're muted on us.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah, we got you now.
Sorry.
One time, yeah, but Buck White is just the very best. He's the greatest ever was. And one time we got out at the festival and was playing, and Buck said, James, come here. He said, have you had anything to eat? Of course, I'm a big boy, I said, no, I haven't had it. Well, come up here. He said, I don't want you to get out of the habit of me buying you a hamburger or something. He joke around. He said, I don't want you to get out here and starve to death. And we just joke around and laugh and carry on.
Yeah.
I love them. They're great people.
So
Good musicians. I was telling Jan a minute ago that, man, I played some stuff like if we was at the Opry, we'd be in one of the dressing rooms and they'd have piano in there. And Buck would like to play fiddle tunes on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd play that rhythm, and man, I didn't even miss a guitar or nothing. That rhythm, I just play right to it, and then he played the leads and everything.
Yeah.
That's
It was
amazing.
great.
Yeah. Well, his mandolin style is so cool. Too.
Oh, he's a great player. Golly, good.
Yeah, that one tune that they played before Cool Water, man, he played some really jazzy, good sounding stuff on it, man, and with good tone too.
Yeah, he can. I'll tell you, he can do it.
Indeed.
Great.
They have like an instrumental they used to do. Is it sassafras or something like that?
Do y'all know Tim Crouch?
Yeah.
I know who he is. Don't know him personally.
I've seen him play several times.
Tim used to work for him, and but I'm telling you now, they had a great show back then, in the 80s and early 80s.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
So, Seth, how many more numbers are there left?
One more number.
Okay.
And we'll be done. And one thing I'll mention too, Jan, that well, I'll just go ahead and say it for next week. I'll be out, so you'll be probably taking the helm if you want to continue the show next week. I don't know what you got planned, but I'll be on vacation. And
okay, I'll think of something that we can play for the people.
Just figured we'd go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah.
Since the show will be a little different next week, but I know you'll, if you're going to do something, it'll be good, whatever it is.
Well, thank you.
And if I have internet service where I'm at, I'll try to join you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
where are y'all going?
We're going down to the Outer Banks. Rented a house down there, and just going to try to get away and rest a little bit and try to find somewhere there's not a whole lot of people.
Yeah. You've been working hard for the people.
Well, on my day job, it keeps me pretty busy, but I'll be glad when I'm working hard playing music again, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Seth,
sure.
I don't think I know you, buddy, but I sure like to watch some of your stuff, and I like your taste in music and stuff.
Well, I appreciate it. James heard some good things about you. I've played with Bobby Hicks on his last 2 albums, and
yeah, man.
Heard some stuff about you from him, and then of course from Jan as well. So maybe one of these days we can all get together and sit around, play music or whatever.
Yes, sir. It'd be fun.
Sell some bologna sandwiches.
I'm always in. Now, is it fried bologna sandwiches?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you the truth.
The Clinch Mountain style.
I am considering opening my own little restaurant. I may franchise it down the road 2 or 3 years from now. It's going to be called the Fiddler's Hot Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it. I'll be your first customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll be your second customer.
Yeah.
So tell the people where you up to these days. You've been sort of changed your career a little bit.
Me. When I left Ralph in 2004, I actually put a band together and started playing. I done the Performing Arts Exchange thing, and I got a bunch of shows, 20 or 30 shows, and played a lot of indoor, pretty good stuff, like University of Georgia, and just had a good time there for a year or 2, and then it kind of, I just got into, a friend of mine was in the oil and gas business,
mm-hmm.
and he said, you need to become a landman like me. I said, what in the world is a landman?
Yeah.
So he started telling me a little bit and sure enough, his boss, Amy Goff, gave me a job, and I started doing land work, oil and gas work, and I've been doing that about 15 years, and it's just been hard to go back to playing a fiddle. I mean, I love the music, but the money's so good and so steady that it's
Yeah. I can understand.
Yeah.
Big difference. But you doing something with your kids, or?
Yeah, I've got a son and a daughter, and their mother had a tragic accident in 2015 and got killed, and so we've been real close. It was really hard, still hard, but they're good kids, and they both play and sing, and my son Mason, he's 31, and he's got a little country band, and they play some gigs around, like picnics and things people has. Plus, they do club every now and then, and once in a while I surprise them and show up, and that tickles them to death because I get in there and play. Done some country stuff too, with worked for Johnny Paycheck for a while and a few others.
Yeah.
So they just love that, and my daughter Amanda, she's 27. She sings like a bird. And I ain't kidding.
Mm-hmm.
She's so good. I'm getting ready to record a CD on her, and she loves gospel music. So So I go sometimes to church with her, and we sing, and that's about the extent of my playing right now. I'm not doing a whole lot myself, but I play some with them, and I may get back into it full time here pretty soon.
Well, you're sort of an entire entertainment package. You can impersonate real well, and you can you're a good country singer and fiddler, and
what kind of country stuff do you like to do, James?
Well, I've always been pretty much a traditionalist about anything, whether it's bluegrass, country, or whatever. I like traditional stuff, So you just can't get too classic and traditional for me. I love the '60s, that RCA stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the Porter Wagner era, Porter Wagner show and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I just love the traditional stuff. George Jones,
I think of Lefty Frizzell.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
He's he's probably my favorite country singer.
Yes, sir, I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I worked for little Jimmy Dickens for a summer, and
Oh, really?
man, I tell you, he was good. I got to do they've got a West Virginia here. It's got a Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
and little Jimmy Dickens is in it, and a few others. And they say that eventually I might end up in it some way, but
Well, you should.
well, who knows if that'll ever happen while I'm living. But I told him, I said, you ought to do something while fellas living. After we're dead, we don't know nothing about it. But anyway, we'll see. But they done a tribute album to little Jimmy Dickens, and I got to be on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I sang one of Jimmy Dickens' songs. Roger Miller wrote it. It's called "When Your House Is Not a Home,"
Mm-hmm.
and a great song. But yeah, I like all that stuff, especially any of the stuff with fiddles and steel guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
Country music I love,
I tell you what, me and Bobby Hicks have rode down the road many times listening to Ray Price and Tommy Jackson.
Oh, I
on
love
the
that.
fiddle.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Ray Price, Johnny Bush, all that stuff was good stuff.
Yeah, Ray Price always had some good fiddles.
Yeah, he sure did. We played the show when I was with Ralph. We played a show in Tucson, Arizona with Ray,
Yeah.
and got to be with him. And me and James Shelton talked to him a long time backstage.
Mm. Yeah.
It was just a good memory. I'll tell this, but I'll clean it up to where it's good. But
Mm-hmm.
I asked Ray, I said, well, Ray, I said, is there anything exciting going on in your life right now? He said, well, I'm writing a book. I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah. I said, what are you going to call it? He said, I think I'm going to call it For the Good Times My Honey, and for the good times. And we just laughed about that. But Ray was just so good, man. He was, and a class act. He put on the show that night, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him one time right before he passed away, and I swear his voice was just as strong then as I ever heard it.
Great. He was great right to the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby told me he had a chance to play with Ray at one time, but it didn't work out. And same thing with Merle Haggard. He had a chance to play with him, and he took a job in Vegas, I guess, was the one he stuck with.
Bobby could have worked for anybody, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really. He was one of the top, or if not the top-notch fiddle player at the time, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt. He's such a style. Oh, man, he's just taking bluegrass fiddle to another level. I'd say with all this, moving, ascending and descending lines. He's playing like steel guitar stuff, and he's probably the most influential fiddler.
And a wonderful banjo player, too. Love his banjo playing.
I send him messages every now and then. We talk. Sometimes we chat on here. I wish him happy birthday. I always say, long live the king.
Yep. Yeah, he's a good one.
I think he's got a birthday coming up this month. I'm pretty sure he was born in July, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think so. I can't remember exactly either. But
I talked to him a couple of weeks ago, I guess, and he said he hasn't left the house in a very long time.
yeah.
So, but we certainly all love Bobby. He's it's such an honor to be his friend, I think.
Absolutely an honor. Every time I'd see him, we just hug like we just good old buddies.
Yeah.
I just loved him. I tell you, have I got time to tell you something real
Yeah,
quick?
of course.
Yeah.
This was good. I tell you, this is one of my favorite memories of all. We was going to do the award show in Nashville. I can't remember what year it was, but Ricky Skaggs, we was going to open the award show with Ricky Skaggs and Rhonda Vincent was going to do Hallelujah, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the boys, all the other boys in the band, just they was out running around in Nashville doing this and that, and seeing things, seeing the sights. And I chose to stay in the motel that day and woodshed because I wanted to be. We was going to open the first song of the award show for the IBMA, and I wanted to get my break down just good. You know, I really wanted it to be good.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just so important to me, and I mean, I worked on it today and clear up till we recorded, until we were, you know, done it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a double stop there. I wanted to start it, you know, like it sounded like Bobby Hicks, you know, when we were playing it up in B flat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
mm-hmm.
It's not easy to do. And I remember the curtain went up, and as soon as the curtain went up, there sits Bobby Hicks and Stuart Duncan and Glenn Duncan.
Oh my God!
And all these fiddlers sitting right there, staring right at me. And and so
what a terrible, what pressure! I mean.
Listen, the Badger kicked the song off, you know.
Yeah.
And they sang the first verse and then a chorus, and then I was going to take the first break.
Mm-hmm.
And all that time, I kept standing there looking at them, and there's Bobby, and I kept thinking, I don't know if I want to do this or not, because what if maybe I should just play it safe. And that's me talking in my head.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should just play it safe and just play something that I know I ain't going to get too far out on a limb and fall out of the tree.
Yeah.
So I kept talking to myself, going back and forth, you know, and I thought, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. And if I fall out, I just fall out.
Yeah.
Because what I spend all day doing anyway, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
No guts, no glory.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just the way I felt. I mean, it just hit me just like that.
Oh, sure.
And buddy, I just took a step forward and got up that mic, and I put the Guadagnini up in that mic, and I just busted that intro to that double stop, just as perfect as if you couldn't have hit it more perfect.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
And buddy, that crowd went crazy, and Bobby Hicks and them just smiling, and and after it was over with, Bobby come out there, he said, James, now that's the way I like to hear a fiddle played. I said, well, I'm so glad I didn't fall out of the tree.
Yeah.
Man, that was good. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of my favorite memories, you know.
And, you know, Bobby has a great ear. He'll tell you in a heartbeat if you're off.
But that's what he said to me. He said, no, that's the way I like to hear a fiddle played. And I thought, man, that's as good a compliment as I'll ever get.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's wonderful. And to come from a guy like that, you know, he really meant that.
Yeah, he's not going to sugarcoat anything.
No. No, he meant it.
Yeah. Yeah. Seth, why don't we play the final number here?
All right, sounds good. Let me get this ready.
We'll talk a little more with James if he feels like it.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll do you one more, and then we're going to say goodnight. You plug it down and talk. What time does gospel singing start in the morning, Bill? The gospel singing will start at 9:30 in the morning, and we're going to be here dressed in our best clothes and doing our best to please you with some of the best music in the world, we think. Gospel singing. So all of you try to come and be with us. Okay, we'll sing you one more and we'll say good night to you. We'll let Mama sing this one. Hoagie Mountain Top. You go ahead.
If I was You caused me to weep, you caused me to mourn, you caused me to feel my heart. Those lost goodbyes and the dreams of mine, I'm on my way back home. If I was on some ordinary song, I'd sail away to where I'd sail all around the old wide world to the wide night of the bay. Now when you see that two-faced blonde, there's something you can tell her. She need not hide her heart away, trying to steal my feller. If I was on some ordinary song, I'd sail away to where I'd sail all around this whole wide world to the wide night of the bay. Ole, hey, ole, ole, hee, hee, hee.
All right, that finishes that set up, Jan. Are you with me, Jan? I think we've lost Jan again for a minute, but that finishes up the set with Buck White and the Down Home folks, and I really enjoyed what they did on that set. Like we said earlier, Buck White's just a tremendous mandolin player with a lot of taste, and really tickled to find a live show with him on it this early on. Don't know if I've ever heard a show this early in their career, so it was really great to hear that. Let's see if I can get Jan on board with us. Okay, just sent him a message. Like I said earlier,
No, I'm sorry. We were James was sharing some stories here. He's quite an impersonator. He was just telling me Candy Baker's story. Is that a story you can tell everybody?
Oh yeah, it was just the last time I talked to him. Had called him. You know, I talked to Michelle Putnam and I asked her how she's doing. She said, you know, I don't think he's doing too good. He fell and hurt himself on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm gonna call him. So I called him up and it rang about 3 or 4 times. He said, hello. I said, Kenny? Yeah. I said, this is James Price. He said, James, who?
It sounds just like Baker.
I said, this is James Price. James Price? Well, seems like I heard of you. I said, I believe you have. You know who is it? Yeah, what are you doing? I told him, I just wanted to call and see how you're doing. I said, are you doing okay? Well, he said, I tell you, I fell on this ice out here, and buddy, I'm having a rough time. I said, are you? Oh, Lord, I felt sorry for him, you know.
Yeah. Oh. You sound just like Baker. I mean, just like him.
He was a card son. I'm telling you, old kid he was.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Ain't nobody like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore. Those guys were one time.
You know, one time when I was a kid, I went to a festival over in Piper, Kentucky. And Kenny would always see me and Bill. And when I was a kid, I used to go around their show a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of treated me. They knew who I was. And Kenny stepped off the bus over there. And he just took his finger and motioned me, come here. You know? And I come over there. He said, son, you doing okay? I said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, I need you to do me a favor. I said, okay. Now, I'm going to go out here and see somebody and talk to them for a minute. And I want you to be in charge of my fiddle. I said, are you serious? Yeah. He said, I want you to take care of my fiddle now. You guard it with your life now. I said, oh, I will. He gave me his fiddle, and he said, now you be right here when I get back. I said, I sure will. And I don't know what, I guess he went out and he got him a drink or something and come back. And right there I was with that fiddle. He said, I knowed you'd be right there. And I told that whenever they asked me to speak at Bean Blossom when they was putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And I was telling that on stage, and Kenny, I said, I told him, I said, and you handed me that fiddle, I said, and Kenny said, is that right? Well, where'd I go? I said, well, I don't know if I could. He said, go ahead and tell it. Go ahead and tell it. I said, I don't know where you went. You never did tell me. I said, you probably went out and found you a little something, nip of something to drink. He said, I'd say that's probably right.
Yep.
Oh, he was something else.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Seth, I tell you what, we need to get James on for some storytelling, you know.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm like most of the guys that live here in Buncombe County where I live. Sometimes the stories are better than the music.
That's pretty much what I felt too, you know, when I was staying in Madison County there in Buncombe County, North Carolina, with Ronnie Smith and them. We might pick 5 songs and in like a period of 3 hours, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk, you know. Our bass player, Robert Blankenship, always got so frustrated and irritated. He was there to pick, you know, not tell stories.
That's funny.
People likes to hear, especially, you know, if it is, you know, when you're around people like Kenny Baker, Bobby Dix, or, you know, working with Ralph like I did 10 years, they like to know about things that happens, things they can't see, you know, things that are not necessarily always on stage. People would ask me all the time, what's Ralph like to eat? You know, what's it? They like knowing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah. It kind of, I don't know, it makes you feel like you got more, I don't know, like it just brings you closer to them, you know.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah.
Ralph was so good at, me and Ralph worked so good together because we didn't even have to tell it or rehearse anything. But when people would come around and stuff, we would do things and just feed off of one another's eyes and, you know, watch each other's eyes and the nods of her head. And we we could pull off a skit just like we rehearsed it. You know?
Wow.
And Ralph was he was great at just being a player, man. He just jumped into whatever, and anything I wanted to do, he just get right in there and do it.
Yeah.
He loved to have a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, we need to do a James Price special for sure.
I'll come back anytime you want.
Okay. Well, Seth, should we just say good night for the evening?
Yeah, we'll sign off with that. Some good stuff from Buck White, and then afterwards talking with James. You can't beat it. I enjoy every minute of it. Wish we had more time to do more of it.
Yeah, but this is good, and thanks to James and to Gary Reid and to you, Seth. Thanks.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
Yes, sir. Okay, take care. And the broadcast.